white-sided dolphins. Here's our male Spinnaker. And Spinnaker is joined by two beautiful females. Lucky him. Here are Helen and Hannah.
Eu tô filmando.
O cara tá na frente.
Para, que bonitinho.
After an aerial display like that, there's no doubt they are pretty amazing animals. So we give them a round of applause. Now, these three dolphins do have amazing rescue stories to tell, and I'm going to get into that with you folks here today, but it's also important to note that here at the Vancouver Aquarium, they do act as ambassadors for their species. Before we do get into that, though, let's talk a little bit about these animals. Now, Pacific white-sided dolphins are uncommon in facilities like this. They can be identified, however, by the stunning torpedo-shaped bodies you've just seen demonstrated from the ladies, right? From Spinnaker and Helen, excuse me, right there. And with the black, gray, and white coloration patterns on their sides. Now, Pacific white-sided dolphins are also considered to be one of the most vocal species of dolphin in the world, and we might hear some of those from Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah.
Que
Ela tá falando pra ele que olha lá não. Vamos ver se ele
Ah, que bonitinho.
That's pretty amazing. Let's give them a round of applause.
olha lá. Olha que foda.
Now, these animals are also considered to be one of the most acrobatic species of dolphin in the world, and as you watch them, that's what I'm talking about. As the name would indicate, Pacific, they are found in the North Pacific.
Ai, olha que
From northern Mexico all the way up to Alaska, and all the way across the Pacific onto the coast of Japan. So they are common off of our coast. I'm curious, has anyone in our audience seen this species of dolphin in the ocean before? Anyone? No? No? No. No one? Alright, over there. You may see them on the BC ferry, maybe in the state of Georgia, showcasing aerials and acrobatics. Now you may be thinking, well, I've never seen them, that's not fair. Don't panic, they've been seen more commonly off our coast, even recently, just off of House Sound by our research vessel. Now, as I said, all three of these amazing animals do have incredible rescue stories to tell. I want to get into those individual stories, but there are some similarities. All three of our dolphins were entangled in fixed fishing nets off the coast of Japan. And they were rescued, rehabilitated, deemed non-releasable, and given a permanent home here at the Wild Coast.
Olha o outro lá atrás.
Starting with Spinnaker. Now, Spinnaker has been here since 2001. He was rescued from a fishing net 20 years ago. Now, our dolphins do bear scars from their experience with those nets. And Spinnaker is no exception to that. You can see where those side flippers, those pectoral flippers do meet the rest of his body. He's got scars from that experience. Now, as I said, he was rehabilitated and brought here in 2001. Another story is Hannah. Now, Hannah was rescued relatively recently, approximately 2003.
Graça.
Thin and emaciated.
Ele tá contando a história de cada uma.
She was rehabilitated and shipped at the same
Agora é
time
dela.
as Helen. Now, Helen is a very interesting one. She's probably got the most visible scars. You may notice her pectoral flippers are much smaller than the other two. Now, the reason for that, due to the infections from the fishing nets, she actually had to have a partial removal of her pectoral flippers. But as you can see, by her amazing aerials and acrobatics, she does quite well here at the Vancouver Aquarium.
Ai, que esse negócio bem na minha frente.
I know these trainers do feel lucky each and every day to work with them, so I'm going to hand it off to Charlotte, somebody who works so closely with them. Tell us about it.
Thank you, David. We work very hard to build and maintain a strong bond of trust with all three of our dolphins in order to provide them with the best possible care through training and regulation.
Olha, conversando com
Everything that
ela.
we learn through their healthcare is used to help researchers and veterinarians to gain a better understanding of these mysterious dolphins. In fact, every day that we spend with Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah reveals more information about their species as well as their individual personalities, which, believe it or not, are just as different as you and I. Isn't that right, you guys? Our training not only allows us to better care for our dolphins, but it also allows Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah to act as ambassadors for their species and participate in meaningful research projects aimed at helping dolphins out in the ocean. But most of all, Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah remind us every day that nets can pose a serious threat to dolphins all over the world.
Thank you very much for that, Charlotte. Very well done. So, in order to answer these questions, gotta analyze the situation a little bit. Because they're entangled in fishing nets, we have to ask ourselves,
aqui.
Why were these dolphins around nets in the first place? What could they be looking for? Any ideas? Fish, yeah, fishing nets, fish, it makes sense. These dolphins are often seen zigging and zagging, zooming through the world's oceans, and you might get a chance to see some of that speed inside the habitat.
Nossa, olha lá,
here.
você não viu o que ela
Now, this
fez
thing
lá em
is allowed to
volta.
get nice and deep in the water, but the deeper you get,
Olha
the
que
darker
legal.
you're going to get. So how are they going to find their lunch in this murky darkness without a flashlight? Well, luckily, these animals have a very special ability. It's very similar to a submarine sonar system, and it is called echolocation. Pretty cool sound. Pretty cool if it was me that was making them, but no, it's not. So those are the kind of sounds our dolphins make when they're underwater and echolocating. Basically, the ability consists of making chirps and clicks, like that, and then listening to the echoes, listening to the reverberations to figure out where things are in the dark underwater world. They can kind of create a mental image based on the sound. Now, we know echolocation is a very accurate sense, and despite that fact, well over 800 whales, dolphins, and porpoises get entangled and die from fishnet entanglement every single day. Now that's a statistic we want to shed some light into with the help of our amazing trainers and our 3 incredible Pacific white-sided dolphins. Through the strong bond of trust that trainers like Christy have created with these dolphins, we're able to get them to voluntarily wear these. Now these are gelatin eye cups. We hook these cups up their bodies, starting around the midsection near the pectoral flippers, as we're seeing demonstrated on Hannah right here, and eventually getting to the point where they allow us to voluntarily cover their eyes. Now, once both eyes are covered, we can use a specialized device called hydrophone, which is exactly as the name would indicate. It's a microphone that works underwater, so we can listen in, we can record, we can analyze the sounds these animals are using to maneuver themselves underneath the water in the simulated darkness. Through this research, it's our hope of better understanding why these dolphins, countless ones like them, are getting entangled in fishing nets while hunting for their food. And let me tell you folks, we are incredibly lucky to be working so closely with Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah. They do allow us the opportunity to conduct research that simply isn't possible with dolphins in the open ocean. Now, our research has led us to ask many questions. The most important question that we're dedicated to answering here at the Vancouver Aquarium: how can we help? If you're thinking, yeah, I'm wondering the same thing, David, how can I help? I'm very happy to tell you, you have already helped us today.
Olha, elas voltam exatamente.
Paying admission, maybe buying yourself something at the cafe or the gift shop. You're funding our facility as we are a non-profit research and conservation organization, and that money does come back into our facility and supporting our conservation projects, including our Marine Mammal Rescue Center. Now, Marine Mammal Rescue, or MMR, has been in operation for well over 40 years now, and we have rescued countless animals. Our most common patient, harbor seals. We have 3 Pacific harbor seals on display over there. In fact, Da Vinci, one of them is an MMR graduate of sorts. He's got a great rescue story, which you can read about right under the green tent over there. So if after you read his story, you want to help us out, there's great ways you can help us out. Come and visit us again. Maybe get a membership. Monetary donations are always great. Volunteering your time. MMR and the Vancouver Aquarium are always looking for more volunteers, people that can help us. That's the backbone of our facility. But most importantly, you can help us by telling the amazing story of Spinnaker, Helen, and Hannah, 3 Pacific white-sided dolphins who know firsthand how dangerous the oceans can be, but have survived and act as ambassadors for their species here at the Vancouver Aquarium. And as a final thank you on behalf of myself, our 3 Pacific white-sided dolphins. There you go. Thank you so much.
Tá, eu vou sair daqui. Tô saindo daqui, daí eu já vou direto pra casa, então.